Yay!
Yay, we're live.
We're live! Yes!
Welcome, Alyssa. I'm sorry.
You!
I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you for dealing with those with me.
Oh, it's completely fine. It's like a learning experience every time.
Yeah. And yes, I'll be posting this on Instagram as well. And the viewers that tuned in at 4, thank you for watching now.
We're back!
but but yes, this is my beautiful guest, Alyssa, and can I? Oh, here we go. Oh, this is all brand new to me.
It is.
You look so beautiful. I could only see this before, but now I see all of this. And this is Alyssa Leon. She is a beautiful blonde bombshell now. And she has graciously agreed to be interviewed by me. Something that's been on my heart is just interviewing the beautiful people that God places in my life and the messages and the conversations that we have. And he sent you, we connected, and it was just awesome because we've never met in person, but I just love your heart for God and I love your message. And it's funny how our messages lined up, and God is so good. He's using you in such powerful ways. You are an amazing speaker and an amazing encourager, and you've spoken so much love and life and light into my life, and just my dreams of just wanting to share more. You just said, "Go for it, girl." Like you're so good at this, and you're an encourager too. And you said all of these things to fill me up, and it's just amazing how God places beautiful people like you in our lives to build us up. And yes, you're a makeup enthusiast,
Thank you
and
so
you're
much.
an amazing speaker and preacher girl. So if you want to introduce yourself and talk about the beautiful message that you have today about everyday purpose.
Awesome. All right. Well, my name is Alyssa, and I run a page called The Catapult Business, which I got to interview Danny not long ago, and it was so exciting. Everything just lined up so perfectly for us, so it was awesome, and I'm so excited to be doing this again. Um, Something I want to talk about tonight is about everyday purpose and not feeling like, the world's just going to pass you by because you're not there yet or you can't do what you want to do yet in life. We all have to remember that even though we see the really big goal, there's a ton of little steps in between. And there's a lot of waiting too. You're not always going to be actively moving and pursuing to your goals. There's going to be a lot of times where you have to just sit it out and just wait. Just in like any other thing that you would do. So, so about waiting, there is purpose in the waiting phase. When you like, if you have a baby or if you're a stay-at-home mom, you might feel like, oh my God, I'm not in the workforce anymore. I can't do this. I can't do that. How are people going to see me now? We need to calm down.
Breathe.
Yes, we need to calm down and remember this is a part of life. This is a phase of life, and it's not always going to be this way, but we need to make the best of it now. So we need to remember that. Don't waste your waiting phase. If you are a stay-at-home mom, don't feel bad because you can't be doing other things that you were doing before you had a baby. That time will come back. You'll be able to do that and more, and you'll have more knowledge, and you're going to be such a you're going to have so much more to your background now being a mom. It changes everything. If that's something you do, maybe that's not, that's just an example, even if it doesn't line up with what's going on in your life. Just take that and know this is a phase and it won't last forever, but you should enjoy it. Enjoy your phase.
I love that so much, Alyssa, because sometimes we get caught up in the tediousness of the phase, or the yucky stuff of the phase, like the diapers of the phase. And that can be a metaphor for any phase. It's like the the stuff that we don't necessarily isn't glamorous. It's just everyday things, but how our heart is aligned with God and how we do things in joy, because we do have a choice. It's like during that waiting phase is guaranteed that we're going to be waiting. There's going to be phases where God's working on us and it doesn't seem like much is happening, but he is working on us and there are blessings, and it's up
Yeah.
to us to look at those things as blessings and change that perspective, because the thing is going to be the thing no matter what it is. So it's like if
Yes.
we can do ourselves a favor by, like you said, like enjoying this phase. It might not be enjoyable all the time, but if we look for those, sprinkles of light and joy, we really can change that waiting period into something really fun instead of like, oh,
Yeah, exactly. I love that too. It's like the waiting phase is certain sometimes. We can't change it. I love what you just said. That's so good.
and it
Um,
seems longer too, probably, if we're just like, yeah.
yeah.
But,
If we're just
yeah.
sitting there just like not even handling our business but literally just doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
Also about not feeling lost, because you have your waiting phase, you're in that
Mhm,
waiting phase. Don't feel lost in that time.
mhm.
When you aren't meeting your biggest goals that you have set, or if you're not out in the public's eyes and accomplishing, I'm having a night with my words.
We both are.
If you're not accomplishing things out into the public's eyes and how you
Mhm.
want them to see you, it's okay. That's not what life is about, anyways. How other people see us is not how we should be so worried and caught up in, because that changes everything when we're so worried about what social media sees of us, when we're so worried about, but even family and friends, and like, what, like, this level or this perspective they have of you, and you want to keep that and uphold it. It's not necessary, and we need to remember that. We need to break down these, like, not even really boundaries, but these walls that we put up for ourselves
Yeah.
because of expectations of others. Remember, it's not necessary. I don't have to put myself in this, and I can be me and to not be lost in that. Also, to stay faithful in the little things in this time. When you're staying faithful in the little things, just even at home, in your communities, until you can move forward and get towards your goals, stay faithful in those things. It's very important to do that. And it's hard. It is hard if you stay home and all of that stuff. But
Yeah, I love that message, and it's about being faithful in the little things. It's how
yes,
you do the little things, it translates into bigger things. And
exactly.
if we're doing little things that are we were not taking care of the little things, it's like God, it's like that talent too, that parable of the talents, where there were more talents given to the servant that was able to use the talents in however little talents that he got, but not buried it. And so, yeah, I love that so much. And
Yes,
another thing that you said about the walls that we build, it's like we protect ourselves. And I'm
yes,
reading this book that's like lining up with your message. It's all about walls that we build, and how that really, actually, it's walls that we build to prevent ourselves from getting hurt by
yes,
the ones that we love and ourselves, but it also prevents us from taking risks. It also prevents us from doing something outside of our comfort zone. And I just love that. And another
yes.
part of your message was about taking risks too. I
Oh my
love to hear
God.
about
That's so
that.
funny. See, that's exactly like where it's lining up
Yeah,
with.
I'm getting chills again. I'm
Yes.
like,
Oh my gosh. So yeah, with the taking risks, I want to talk more about that too. But before I get there, because that is so, so good, another
yeah.
thing I want to say, we talked about, don't feel like you're lost, don't feel like you're wasting away. One
Mhm.
thing you need to remember is your value as a person. No matter how your family sees you, your friends see you, or how you see yourself in the role you're taking in life right now, you are so
Mhm.
valuable and you are so worthy just as you are where you are. So please remember that you don't need these positions or titles to make you feel worthy. you being a mom, you doing what you do, being a family person, a wife, a girlfriend, whatever it is, just remember you are who you are for a reason. And God, He makes no mistakes. He makes no mistakes when He created you. So remember that. Um,
So good. Alyssa preaching it, bringing the message.
I feel like I had so many notes. And I was just trying to like cover like something on it.
You're so cute with your notes too. It's a sermon right here.
I was like, I have to be more organized tonight. um,
So
yeah,
good.
sometimes we feel like we're not really living our purpose in those moments, but remember, you're worthy. You have a purpose and you will fulfill your purposes in life. You just have to keep going, even in the daily things and the small things.
I love that so much. Alyssa, this is such a great message for moms because we do need to take time out to recover. And the recovery, it doesn't only have to be postpartum. It can be during different phases of our life. If we're going through a depression, if we're going through especially now, like it's okay to take that time and give it to ourselves
Yeah.
without feeling guilty because that guilt will eat away at our hearts. That guilt will eat away at who we are, the worth that you said, and we are so
Yeah.
worthy in who God made us. And each one of us is so different in the way that our values, it's like we see social media and then we sometimes I was getting caught up in this trap. I was like, oh, this person's doing this, I want to do this too, I want to research how to do this, and this person's doing this, I want to research how to do this. And I was just like in a frenzy trying to do what everyone else was doing. And now is the season for me to get real with myself and say, what are the most important values? And that is that Jeff is happy. I want to grow with him, and although his happiness isn't my responsibility, it's his responsibility. Like I want to be the best wife that I can be and the best mom that I can be. And you are growing so much every day, and you love, like the way that you love other people. It's like you better yourself every day. And if we're doing that as moms, as women, there's all of that other stuff, it's not us, but sometimes we internalize it and that chips away at our worth. But really, if we spend that time with God and we spend that time with sisters that encourage each other, we get that back. And then we journal and, like we do the things that fill us up.
Yeah, no, that is so good. Is so true because like we get so caught up in seeing how everybody else is living their lives and how, what's working for them. Maybe it'll help me a little better in this area or whatever. When we really do need to stop and realize that we are individuals and that we have our own creativity, we have our own things that, makes us click inside. And so it is so true because so many people be looking at what they're doing or what their profession is and want to chase that because they see them happy in that, when that's just a
Mhm.
passion, that's a part of who they are. So when we find our own passions and a part of who we are and we start going for those things instead of what somebody else is doing, we'll find so much more happiness in that anyways. Like that is a really good point you made.
Yeah, I love that, Lisa.
It's so good
Really,
though.
this is so good. This is like filling my cup as a mom, and yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. This is a
And
message for me.
another thing is, as if you believe in God and you're a Christian, we might already know like our purpose is basically, it's found in prayer, it's found in scripture, it's found in who we think God wants us to be in our own lives.
Mhm,
But even if you're not a Christian and you don't believe in God, you might find purpose in a sense of your career, in a title, in a position you hold at work. So we all, no matter who we are, no matter what we believe, we all want a specific purpose, and that's like our drive, whether it's our jobs. Even as Christians, like a lot of times we want to run after our professions or these things that put a fire in us. So it doesn't matter who you are, like everybody has something that they want to fulfill in their life. But
mhm.
we just have to remember to take a step back and remember that's not where my value and worth is made, in those things, but it's who we are. It's who we are behind closed doors. It's who we are just in daily lives with our friends, with our family. So Just remember those things. Your worth, your value is not determined on what everybody else thinks, and it's not determined by your calling or your job. It is determined by God or who you are as a person in your own way.
Yes. Yes.
I'm like turning the page over here.
It's so cute. It's like the piano like pages as you're playing.
Right?
That was such a
I'm like, let
beautiful
me know.
message.
Yeah,
You were in
but
it.
for
You're
real,
like,
like
yeah.
so we get so lost and caught up in like what we what we want to be, what other people think, and it's so hard to come back
Mhm.
down and just be real with yourself and be honest with other people and just be able to be who you are. It is like in this day and age, like there's such a standard and such a motive for everything. It's really
Yeah.
hard to do. So you have to break a lot of things down in order to get back to those roots, basically.
Oh, that's so good, Alyssa. And it just like what I'm just soaking this in because I remember before I would post things and then I would want the likes. And if I didn't get enough likes, like over 100 likes, then
Yeah.
I wasn't worthy. It's like that post wasn't worthy. It was nothing. And then I also was like, oh, I'm not worthy because I'm not posting anything of worth or of like I want to show people that I accomplished this thing. I want to
Yes.
show people this and that. But really, if the success is on the inside, we can show people the light of the Lord in every single thing that we do. And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be with extravagant posts of grandeur and like
Yeah.
wonderful those are huge blessings that God blesses us with, and those are amazing when we accomplish something, and glory to God and all those beautiful things. And but it's like what you said about not feeling lost when we're not doing those things and when
Yeah.
we're just in the everyday life of maintaining things, of
Yeah.
maintaining relationships, of being ourselves, of trying to find ourselves, trying to grow and connect to God. It's like not all of those things are post-worthy, but it really is. Like, I mean, post-worthy in the world
In the
sense,
standard,
but
right? Yes.
yeah, exactly, in the standard, like you said, but in God's you know, economy, it is
Yeah.
so post-worthy because that's when, he's right here and he's walking us through those steps.
Yeah, that is so good, Danny. That is
You inspired that out of me.
I love that though. I love when we can bounce off each other's like thoughts.
Yeah.
It's so good though. And I mean like it is so crazy because people will be like, it's not about this, it's not about the likes, it's not about how you look, whatever. But it's seriously the standard everybody's putting out, whether they're saying you should or shouldn't do it or not. Like they're still supporting it, they're still doing it. So it makes it hard for everybody else when you want to be real, when you want to be honest and put that stuff out there. But that's just not how everything runs. That's just not how it is, even though we want it to be.
Yeah, I love that. And I love you, how real you are too. And just like about the struggles too, because I can see how what you said about everyone putting out a certain image, especially during this time, um, how that can exasperate somebody's depression, or that can make somebody feel worse about their life.
Yes.
Um, and the person posting, we don't even know what happened the moment before, and it's all photoshopped and perfect and everything like that. But I love how real you are, and you just talk about the daily things, and it's very relatable, and makes
Yeah.
me feel like I can open up too.
Yes, that's so awesome.
That's awesome content that you're putting out there.
It's kind of to go with what we're talking about right now. We're talking about like the standard, what people have, and why we're like so worried and maybe a little bit timid about going out there and doing stuff because of the judging, because of the standards other people have for you. One thing I
Mhm.
want to bring up is about how our life is like a vapor. If you've never heard that before, I actually have a scripture I looked up and I want to share. It's in James 4:14, and it says, why you do not know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a while and then vanishes. It literally says you are here and you are gone in an instant, and you are, it's just like that, like it's over.
Mhm.
So, is it really that important that we are spending so much time worried about the standard other people have for us, when honestly they're probably worried about the standard you have for them? If we really think about it, they're probably so worried about how you see them and what you think about them. And here we are, like, oh my gosh, they can't see me in this outfit. Oh my gosh, like, I can't go
Yeah.
over there and do that. Like, we really need to, like, drop our shields, drop the walls, and, like, just be real and just live life. Just like Danny brought up earlier about taking risks, guys, it is so important that we do take those risks. Danny, I'm sure, like, you being an actress, you had to take risks to get to where you got to be able to film in some things and do what you got to do, which are amazing opportunities. But, like, they don't just come. Like, you have to work for it. You can't just, like, come out every day and be like, I want to be an actress, or I want this. You have to do the work to get there. Like, it's so insane how we think we can just get by in life and just make it, and it
Yeah.
doesn't work like that.
And I was actually thinking about taking risks as an actor and what that looks like, an actress. It actually is being yourself, because nobody wants to see an actor that's trying too hard to act.
That
and
is
and
so
I think that,
interesting, though.
yeah, it is. And it's like going back to the walls. Oh my gosh, this is like literally everything that I'm learning through this season of my life. It's that going through the bringing down the walls so that people can actually see you and me
Yeah.
and our hearts, and instead of looking at the other person, and like you said, the other person's looking at you and they're like, well, like that wall is there, and the wall gets higher and higher and higher. But if we bring it down, it encourages other people to bring their walls down. And
Yes.
it makes it a safer place, and it makes the judgment go down. And it also makes people want to book you. Like,
Yeah.
as an actor, like that's when I feel like I'm doing my best work, is when I'm free and not like, oh gosh, I really need to be good right now. I really need to be good. I practice this scene this one way, and it has to be good, or else, because I
Oh my
need to be
gosh, I love
perfect.
that.
so so yeah, it even how I was actually thinking about this, and it's like chills again, because it's tying into your message, and you can applicable in real life, everyday life. It's like, we need to be good. Like, I need to be good enough to be perceived as good, and then I'll be a person that's good. But that's not
Mm.
how God works. That's not how God works at all.
Oh,
He's already made us, he's made us in his image. He loves us. And from there, then we spread that message to those
yeah.
closest to us. And then that circle expands. And then,
That is
our
good.
lives expand and our hearts expand. So, yeah, I
See,
just
like,
love this.
exactly, you're saying it expands and it makes an effect on everybody. Like, you're making a positive chain reaction. Like, you're doing something different than what's normal and what's called for. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
So good. So I kind of want to use. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Christine Kane, but she is an amazing speaker. Danny knows
Mhm.
of her too. She is amazing. Um, so I'm in a small group study right now. We're learning about her message is called 2020, like seeing people as God sees them. And it's so good, but it's so crazy too, because, like, in this, like, no matter what you go in, if you go in with your heart open, uh God is going to reach you some way in something that's very specific to you, no matter what the
Mhm.
message was intended for and what it's about. Like, he's always going to reach you somehow, which is, I love that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so as she's talking, she was talking about how your life is a vapor, the vapor metaphor. And she's like, we spend our time so much worried about our, children's scores at school, and I'm kind of going off on my own thing too. She's like, like, if you get in arguments a lot with your significant other, and then you're like, oh my gosh, guys, it's one moment of your life. It's literally like a vapor. It's literally a vapor. And then you're worried about, like, oh my gosh, what are these people going to think of me if I, come to this place I was invited to? I haven't seen them in so long.
Mhm.
It's a vapor. Like, we need to get past these
So
things.
good.
Stop just being so tied down. That's what it is. It makes us tied down when we have to think about other people's judgmental states and what they want to think. And like I said, they might be thinking the same about you. So just be confident. Like, seriously, be more confident in who you are. If you're a Christian, be more
Mhm.
confident in who God made you to be, because there is more to life. And if you want to experience what's on the other side of your four walls at home, you're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to break habits, and you're going to have to go forward and, be passionate. Do what you're passionate for. Like, go out and do the things. Like, seriously. Another thing is the lady who kind of wrapped up our small group last night. She was obviously talking about the same message and the same metaphor. And they were like, people eventually are going to die, but so many people are just scared of death. Like, they don't want to think about it. I mean, who does really? Nobody wants to think about that. But
It's true.
she's like, you really want to not take risk in your life. And then you make it to the end. You're like, hey, God, I made it here safely to your death. Like, if it's eventually going to happen, take the risk. Don't be scared of death. Don't be scared of failure. Don't be scared of challenges. Do the things and see what happens. Even this week, if you're watching this, do the thing this week that you were so scared to do. Take a leap of
Yeah.
faith and just watch what can actually happen. Yes. Because, like I said, if it's just a vapor in your life, a little mist, it's not going to hurt anyone. It's not going to do anything but help you. So make your life that could be here and go so quickly, make it worth living. Don't just get to the end safely in a bubble or in your shell. Come out of your shell and do what you were meant to do.
This message is so good because, again, going back to how I wanted to start sharing more, and I wanted
Yeah.
to start interviewing, and I wanted
Yes.
to start just sharing more stories and being myself more, but I was afraid of that judgment, and that it's like that judgment is even a vapor. Like you said, like it's
Exactly.
here for a
Yes.
moment and it's gone. It's not like a thing that is a physical like person sitting next to me like you like it's not. It's just it's a
Yes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's just amazing how those things hold us back from doing the things that God really put in our hearts to do. And so I just love that so much, and to remove that fear,
Yeah.
you know, or at least acknowledge it and say, "Hey, you're a vapor. You're not, you're an enemy trying to get to me. You're,
No, just
yeah, God is
yes.
bigger
I
than
want to
that."
bring up exactly. I want to bring up one more perspective that she kind of mentioned was we're kind of set up and programmed, not just as women, but maybe as people, to be cautious and to be wary of the things just to be safe. I forget some of the examples, but like if it could go wrong, it might go wrong. Like, just little sayings like that we've heard almost all our lives, and so we program it. So mentally, when something new comes up, we're just like, no, it's in there, and that's like a no, that's a negative, red flag, whatever. And we hold back when really those are just things. And just like you said, fear is a vapor. We need to call it out, and we need to push forward, because we could be living lives and doing things we didn't think we could do if we could just remember it's not going to stay here. If I actually face it, if I confront it, I might be on the
Mhm.
other side of that sooner than I thought. Like, it's such a mental thing that we've
Yeah,
held us down.
it is. That is such a great mindset. It's like, you know, there's something waiting, like we talked about before, there is somebody waiting for you to be obedient and overcome that
Yes.
fear. There is somebody waiting for that. And
There's somebody else
and
who needs
you yes. On the other
Mm-hmm.
side of your obedience, exactly. And when we overcome that, it's like there's a win-win. And that's what happened with us too, because you reached out to me and you said, hey, when I was liking all your posts, you didn't have to do that, but you really blessed me. And
Yeah.
that confirmed a lot of things for both of us, I think.
Yes,
And so when
it
we
did.
step out in faith, it's like God really moves and it's that action. And yeah, there's this movie called Sing. I don't know if you watched it with your
Oh,
daughter, but it's
okay. I missed the whole thing. It looks cute. Yes.
you know, there's this elephant that she's so scared of like singing, but she's such a good singer. Such a good
Yeah.
singer, like beautiful voice. And then the koala bear tells her, just sing. And she's like, I'm terrified. I can't do it. And then the koala bear is like, just do it. And he pushes her a little bit and says, you know, you were made to do this. And once you start singing, the fear will go away. That's what he said to her. And that really
Yeah.
resonated with me. So once
That's
you're
so
in
good.
action, yeah, it's like you're in action right now. And the fear does go away. It's that thinking about the thing. That's where it's like we get in that.
The thinking is so much more than anything physical could ever do. Like, if we can just like be like, okay, calm down. I've got this. I'll be okay. We would really
Yeah.
most likely be okay, every time.
Yeah. That's a beautiful message. I
That's so,
love this so much, Elisa. Yeah, and just to keep in mind that perspective, it is a vapor. And
yeah,
our lives, we have to take advantage of what God has blessed us with. We have to use those gifts because
yes.
it is a vapor and we never know because things
Yeah,
happen. And as hard as that is, as painful as that is life. And we every day is a blessing that we're given. And so we, take those risks, even though they're scary and they might be awkward. They
yeah.
might have
You're like,
a
what are
lot
they
of
gonna think when I message them because they liked something of mine? But
exactly.
honest,
So thank you.
that was
That's
so good. Yeah.
That's that's amazing, Elisa. Is there anything else that you want to leave with the viewers? Anything
Um,
else? Last thoughts or anything like that?
just remember, you guys are worthy where you're at, no matter if social media is seeing you right now. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who used to know you, whatever. You are worthy where you're at. You are so valuable. And there is a lot more to life when you remember it's a vapor. And you need to get take the risk and do the things because you absolutely 110% can do it. And if you personally know Danny or you're connected with her through social media, she is the biggest cheerleader ever. And she can also tell you that you can do it 110%. So I just want to let you guys know that if you guys have to hear the whole, everything if you miss it though, definitely.
And connect with Elisa too. She's on the Catapult business and she has such encouraging, inspiring messages. And I will never look at Windex the same again or any kind of spray. I'm just going to think of this message and it's going to remind me and fill me up. So thank
Yes.
you so much,
It smells
Elisa.
really good in here now.
But yeah, God bless you, Lisa, and thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you so much, and thank you for sharing your beautiful heart and what a beautiful person you are.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm again new at this, so I have to find the off button. Wait,
That was
hold on.
me.
Okay, let's see. Wait, how do I? So I just, so do I just stop cam, but then I can save it, right?
Yes, you should be able to just stop. Is it
Mhm.
just stop entirely?
There is.
Okay, it might just stop on your side because I have a leave on my side.
Oh, okay. I think it's stop, and then I'll be
Yeah.
able to save it, right? Okay. Thank you. Oop, I'm still here. Wait, that just stopped my camera. Literally did what it was gonna say it was doing. But let's see, exit full screen. Here we go. Okay. Oh, here, leave studio.